All right, ready to dive in. Today we're taking a closer look at the Black Mamba, a creature with a pretty intense reputation. And I'm guessing you've got a ton of cool sources lined up for us. I'm excited to uncover what makes this snake so fascinating.
Yeah, captivating is definitely a good word for it. The Black Mamba is often really misunderstood, wrapped up in all sorts of myths and fear. What's interesting is that even its name is kind of misleading.
Okay, now you've got me curious. So you're telling me the Black Mamba isn't actually black?
Well, not exactly. It's not their scales that are black, but the inside of their mouths, the snakes themselves. They can be olive green, grayish brown, even copperish, depending on where they are. And that coloring actually helps them blend in really well to all the different landscapes in sub-Saharan Africa. That's the area south of the Sahara Desert, across a huge chunk of the continent.
So imagine you're in, say, the savanna or a forest, maybe even rocky outcrops. The Black Mamba is basically invisible until, bam, it opens its mouth and there's this stark black void. Must be quite a sight.
Oh, it's a powerful defense mechanism for sure. They're not naturally aggressive snakes. But when they feel threatened, they rear up, flatten their neck, kind of like a cobra, hiss, and then open wide, showing that black mouth. It's a clear warning signal. And with their speed, they can definitely back it up.
Speed. Now that is something I know people associate with the Black Mamba. They have quite a reputation for being fast, right?
For sure.
Right.
They're the fastest venomous snake in the world, clocking in at speeds up to 12 miles per hour. Now, granted, that's not for super long distances. But imagine a snake moving that fast in short bursts, weaving through vegetation over rocky terrain. It's an incredible adaptation for hunting, and a big reason why they're such successful predators.
Okay, officially both terrifying and amazing. 12 miles an hour is no joke, especially for a snake. So they use that speed to hunt. But their venom is the real showstopper, right? That's what most people focus on. And honestly, it's what drew me to this deep dive.
Oh, their venom is definitely a key part of their story. It's a mix of neurotoxins, which mess with the nervous system and can lead to paralysis, and cardiotoxins, which affect heart function.
So it's not just one thing, it's a double whammy. Yeah. And it works fast, right?
Yeah. Those stories you've heard, they're not exaggerated. Symptoms can show up within minutes of a bite. And death. That can happen in as little as 20 minutes, though sometimes it takes a few hours. Depends on how much venom was injected and a few other things. Thankfully, there is effective antivenom, but time is absolutely crucial.
Wow, that's intense. So powerful venom, incredible speed, and a dramatic warning display.
Yeah.
You can definitely see why the Black Mamba has this fearsome reputation.
Yeah.
But we've also established that they're not just out there attacking for the fun of it, right?
Exactly. They'd much rather avoid conflict altogether. Their main goal is survival. And the venom, the speed, those displays, they're all tools to help them achieve that. It's a good reminder that nature is full of paradoxes, Beauty and danger all tied together, all for the sake of survival.
All right, I'm hooked. Let's keep going. What else can you tell me about these fascinating creatures? I know there's more to the Black Mamba than just venom and speed. What about their life cycle? How do they find mates?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. See, for black mambas, finding a mate involves a kind of chemical treasure hunt.
A chemical treasure hunt. Okay, now I am officially all ill ears. Tell me more.
Welcome back. It seems like our deep dive into the Black Mamba has you captivated.
Totally captivated. You left me hanging with that whole chemical treasure hunt thing. I need to know how Black Mambas find each other in those vast African landscapes.
So it all starts with the female Black Mamba. When she's ready to mate, she leaves behind a scent trail. It's like an invisible perfume that the males can pick up with their tongues. It's their way of communicating, kind of a signal that, well, love is in the air, so to speak.
So the males follow this scent trail, like a trail of pheromone breadcrumbs leading them to the female.
Exactly. Imagine multiple males, all following this invisible pathway, all converging on the female's location. It's a pretty high-stakes competition.
And I bet that's where those legendary male combat battles come in, right? Survival of the fittest.
Exactly. And these battles aren't just random brawls. They're very ritualized displays of strength and dominance. The males will entwine their bodies, rear up, trying to force each other to the ground. It's a test of endurance. And the winner, well, he earns the right to mate.
Like a reptilian wrestling match with the highest possible stakes. You have to wonder, do they ever get injured in these battles?
Injuries can happen, but serious ones are pretty rare. These displays are more about posturing, about endurance, not really about causing actual harm. It's really fascinating how nature balances that need for competition with the need to avoid, life-threatening injuries.
That makes sense. I guess if you're a black mamba, you need to be in tip-top shape to survive, whether it's hunting, escaping predators, or, winning over a mate.
Okay, so after all that drama, the winner gets the girl, so to speak. What happens next? After mating, the female black mamba will find a safe, warm spot to lay her eggs. This could be a termite mound, a hollow log, even a crevice in a rock pile. She'll lay anywhere from 10 to 25 eggs, and then her job is done.
So she doesn't stick around to protect the eggs?
Nope. Black mambas don't really do parental care. Once the eggs are laid, the female moves on. It's a strategy that works for them.
And those eggs, they hatch into what, miniature versions of their parents, already equipped with venom?
Yeah, black mamba hatchlings, they're born venomous, ready to fend for themselves. It's a tough world out there, especially when you're a small snake. So they need that venom for both hunting and defense right from the start.
Speaking of defense, I got to ask about those stories of black mambas chasing people. Is there any truth to them? I know we talked about their defensive nature, but is there ever a time when they'd actually pursue a human?
Those stories are often exaggerated or misinterpretations of what's actually happening. Remember, from the black mamba's perspective, a human is a giant potential predator. So if they feel threatened, their first instinct is to escape, not to chase something much larger than themselves.
Okay, so it's more likely that the person was in the snake's path of retreat and just felt like they were being chased.
Exactly. It's all about perspective. And sometimes when that fear kicks in, it's easy to misinterpret a situation.
I can definitely see that happening. It's like when you startle a deer in the woods. They bolt away. And you might feel like they're coming right at you, but they're just trying to get to safety as quickly as possible.
Perfect analogy. We tend to anthropomorphize animal behavior, We assign human motivations to actions that are really just pure instinct.
This whole conversation is making me realize how important it is to understand animal behavior, especially when it comes to creatures we perceive as dangerous.
Knowledge is power, especially in the natural world. The more we understand about animals like the black mamba, the better equipped we are to coexist, safely and respectfully.
I'm learning so much from this deep dive. I feel like I'm shedding all those preconceived notions, starting to appreciate the black mamba for what it truly is. A remarkable creature, amazing adaptations, thriving in a challenging environment.
That's what we're aiming for. Go beyond the headlines, uncover the truth about these incredible creatures.
All right, let's keep this exploration going. We've covered a lot of ground, but I know there's always more to learn. Where do we go from here? As we're wrapping up this deep dive, I have to say, I'm seeing the black mamba in a totally new light. It's like I've gone from scary snake to, wow, that's a fascinating creature.
I love that. That shift in perspective is what makes these deep dives so rewarding. When we take the time to understand, the why behind the fear, we often discover a whole world of wonder and complexity.
Speaking of fear, there are so many misconceptions about black mambas, myths that just fuel that fear and prevent people from really appreciating these snakes for the incredible animals they are. Yeah. I think it'd be cool to kind of debunk some of those myths.
Totally agree. Let's tackle those head on. One of the biggest ones is that black mambas are just aggressive man-eaters, actively seeking out humans to attack.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one too. Like they have some kind of personal vendetta against humans.
The reality is much less dramatic. Like we've talked about, black mambas are defensive, primarily. Their venom, speed, all those warning displays, those are about survival, not aggression. They'd much rather avoid a confrontation with something, as big as a human.
So those stories of them chasing people, those are probably just cases of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
Or exaggerated accounts.
Exactly. If a black mamba feels threatened, their instinct is to escape, not to chase after something that could easily crush them.
It's all about perspective, isn't it? We tend to view things from our human-centric point of view. We forget that animals have their own motivations, their own instincts driving their behavior.
Such a key point. We try to impose our own narratives onto animal behavior. We project human emotions and intentions onto creatures that operate on a whole different level.
Another myth I've heard is that black mambas are immune to their own venom.
Oh, that's a good one. And it's not entirely true. While they do have some resistance to their own venom, they're not completely immune. A bite from another black mamba can still be dangerous, even fatal. Depends on how much venom is injected and some other factors.
So it's more like they have a higher tolerance compared to other animals,
Right.
but they're not totally invincible.
Right. And even that tolerance is, a matter of degree. They've evolved ways to kind of lessen the effects of their own venom, but it's not a foolproof system.
Nature is full of those amazing adaptations, but it's rarely black and white, huh?
Exactly. There are always these nuances and complexities that we're just beginning to scratch the surface of. The black mamba is a perfect example of that.
Okay, so we've debunked some myths, we've gained a deeper understanding of black mamba behavior, but I want to bring it back to you, our listener. What stood out to you the most in this deep dive?
What surprised you? What made you think differently about this incredible creature?
We've learned that the black mamba isn't just a scary snake. It's a master of speed and agility, a creature of remarkable beauty, an integral part of its ecosystem.
Their potent venom, while definitely dangerous, is a testament to their evolutionary success, a tool for survival, and their defensive nature. Well, it just highlights how important it is to understand animal behavior and respect the boundaries of wildlife.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive on the black mamba, we want to leave you with this. How can we as humans move beyond fear and embrace a deeper understanding of the creatures we share this planet with?
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.